Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by and welcome to the MBDA Virtual Substance Sandwiches webinar. My name is Gabriela Zambrano and I'm the director of the Houston MBDA Business Center. This is our 6th year of offering substance sandwiches and our first year with AT&T and the Beck Group. Before I get started, I ask Dr. Maya Jornovo, Chief Entrepreneurial Initiative Officer with Houston Community College, to offer some words of welcome. Maya?
Thank you, Gabriela, and it's a great pleasure to welcome all of you. We're so glad so many of you could attend. These are become our signature events for Subs and Sandwiches, so welcome to all of you. And I would just like to thank Stacy Kennedy, the Assistant Vice President of AT&T Houston External and Legislative Affairs, and Angela Ross, the VP of External Affairs for AT&T. Thank you so much for collaborating with us. So I'll turn it back over to you, Gabriela.
Okay, well, thank you, Maya. During today's webinars, attendees will be in listen-only mode. There will be a Q&A session at the end of today's call. My colleague, Mark Prague, is going to monitor the Q&As. If you have any questions during the presentation, you may submit it online by entering in the Q&A panel. As a reminder, this presentation is being recorded. Now, I'd like you to introduce my colleagues, Mark Craig and Deidre Sutton, business advisors, and our office manager, Jessica Vasquez. Our next MBDA event is Virtual Substance Sandwich with Turner Construction Company. It will be held on Wednesday, August 26, 2020, beginning at 11:30 a.m. We will have the opportunity to interact with Turner and learn about upcoming construction opportunities with them. Today, we have the pleasure to meet with AT&T and the Beck Group. This is how the event will go. The AT&T team will introduce themselves and then make a presentation. Then the Beck Group will introduce themselves and then make a presentation. And then we'll break into questions and answer. Now, without any more, please, let's welcome Heather. Hello, Heather.
Hi there. So nice to be here. And thank you again, Gabriela, for allowing us the opportunity to participate in this event. We are always excited to make connections with diverse suppliers. So it's going to be a fun event for us. Is there a part where we allow the diverse participants to introduce themselves, or is that later in the agenda?
We were gonna do it. We tried to remove it so in order for time. But if you want to, we can do it right now. I can
no, I don't. Well, I'm perfectly fine to move forward. So no worries at all. Well, again, thank you so much, and look forward to participating today, and again making some great connections throughout this event. So so we can go to the next slide. And so our supplier diversity program has been in existence at AT&T since 1968. And we have evolved, over the years, but our mission is very simple, and that is to connect diverse businesses with opportunities to do business with AT&T, whether that be direct or whether that be with our prime or our tier 1 suppliers for subcontracting and tier 2 opportunities. We believe in the program. We are very meaningful and strategic in our approach to connecting with these vendors. And we know that by doing business with diverse companies, we are serving our communities and our customers as well. Next slide. So AT&T, I mentioned our program has, been in existence since 1968. We are a very large supplier diversity team. There are 13 of us across the country, and our sourcing supplier diversity managers are aligned by category. And we've taken this approach so that we can better connect with the suppliers and with our sourcing teams and our prime suppliers to make those connections. AT&T has a corporate goal for supplier diversity, and our corporate goal is 21.5%. In 2019, we spent $14.2 billion with diverse suppliers, and we're very proud of that, whether that be through a tier 1 or through a tier 2 component. And that spend represents 26.4% of our supply chain. So again, we are focused from our most executive leadership team to our area managers and our sourcing managers to stimulate the collaboration with the diverse suppliers. Obviously, we work with minority-owned firms, women-owned firms, service-disabled veteran and veteran-owned companies. We also work with LGBTQ as well as disability. We again have some are very honored to be included in the Diversity Inc. Top corporation. We ranked number 3 in 2019. We've consistently been in the top 12, and that's a significant achievement for us as well. And last year, we were recognized as AT&T was the top corporation with the WeBank National Development Council. So we're proud of that achievement as well. At the end of the program, we do have our email address, but AT&T has, we invest back in our communities as well as with diverse vendors. We have a program called BGAP. It's Business Growth Acceleration Program. It's very similar to a JFK program, but we're not just sponsoring a supplier to attend. We actually implement this program in-house. It's a 6-month program, and suppliers have the opportunity to meet with our executive leadership team and make presentations, as well as there is a third-party vendor that we utilize for a business growth capacity program. So if there's a supplier on here that is interested in that program, I welcome you to shoot me an email, and we'll make sure you're included in the invitation to apply. All right. And so for 2020, again, I mentioned earlier, we're always evolving our supplier diversity program to be more meaningful. We do have 3 pillars that we focus on. Obviously, spend, in a tier 1 or tier 2 capacity is a focus for us as well. But we are very interested in how we're impacting the community in terms of job impact, internship, or influencing the hiring of diverse candidates. So we are understanding our prime suppliers' diversity and inclusion of their workforce as well to help measure those impacts. In 2020, AT&T will release those results from a supplier diversity lens. We are very focused on our tier 2 and our prime supplier program. In 2019, 2.5 billion of that 14.2 billion in spend was through our tier 2 prime supplier program, and we're excited that Beck was able to join us today. But prior to hearing from Beck, I've asked 2 members from our team to join the call. I've got Shirley Potestio, who manages our construction and engineering space, as well as Daryl Walker, who is very supportive of our corporate real estate and property management categories within AT&T. So Shirley, if you want to take a few moments to introduce yourself, talk about how you work with our prime suppliers as well as our sourcing and business unit teams, and then hand off to Daryl, and he can hand off to Beck. Thanks, guys, and looking forward to connecting further.
Absolutely. Thanks, Heather. Hi, everyone. My name is Shirley Potestio, and I represent the mobility, turf, and outside plant for all diverse supplier opportunities. Within this space, I also support our wireless tower maintenance and wireline underground network clients. So basically, when a new supplier is onboarded with our diversity team, our focus is to find tier 2 opportunities by working directly with our primes to match those capabilities and make that connection. So we're super excited. Hopefully we get to work with you, and we're so happy that you're here today. Thanks.
Hey guys, I'm Daryl Walker. I handle the design and construction as well as property management portion of AT&T, as well as getting to work with these fine primes that we have already in place, and as they are committed to work with our diverse entities. So I'm looking forward to talking to the majority of you. Matter of fact, I think I get to talk to Brandy soon. I just got her her Q&A. So yes, looking forward to chatting with you. And seeing what opportunities with AT&T, it's a little different. You know, we could have opportunities in the next 3 minutes or next 3 years. It depends on where we are in this and what we are doing. But there's things coming across the desk all the time. So being top of mind is perfect. And then so we can have that resource to go back to Beck to say this is somebody you should take a look at as far as a tier 2 capacity. With that, I like to turn it over to Beck.
Okay, so now we're going to go with Beck. And I guess, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mauricio.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name's Mauricio Murillo, and I'm out of the Houston office, the AT&T Alliance office. I'm going to go real quickly here, kind of give you a little background about Beck and who we are and what we are and where we work. So we actually have actual standalone office locations throughout Texas, in Georgia, Florida, Carolina, even in Mexico. We don't necessarily have a standalone office in Houston or in San Antonio. So the work that we do here in Houston and San Antonio is primarily for AT&T within the AT&T Alliance. So, you know, we were very committed to AT&T, and wherever they need us, that is where we'll be. Next slide, please. So what we do, we are a general contractor, and we are also an architectural design firm. We have the fortunate resources here at our corporate offices and wherever we have a standalone office to basically provide both general contract services and architectural design services. And typically the work that Beck pursues is not negotiated. It's basically repeat work that we have done with repeat customers such as AT&T and many others. So we don't necessarily go out there and actually hard bid work. We've been fortunate enough to have provide great service to our clients that we've been able to obtain repeat work from many of our clients. What we do not do is heavy civil construction. That is not that we do not do that. We are a ground up builder and renovation and so forth, but we do not do heavy civil construction. And we're very selective on the clients that we actually pursue work with. And for that being said, we also, only select clients that are trustworthy and they've known to be great clients to work for time and time again. Some examples of some type of work that you can see there that we've done is from aviation, from higher education, hospital, etc. Next slide, please. Here's some more sections of work, of course, office, retail, entertainment, base space. Healthcare is a growing, with everybody, and that's a big ticket item that we're continuing with. Higher education, of course, aviation, like I mentioned before, and telecommunications, of course, with AT&T, and data center and critical work, of course, with AT&T as well. Next slide, please. So just to kind of break down, I mean, I know the AT&T folks know this, and kind of break down how Beck eventually plays a part on this. It's just a breakdown how the AT&T Alliance fits into AT&T and how Beck in general fits into AT&T. So AT&T it's a global company that has multiple facets of their organizations, from wireline, telephone, wireless, you name it. And eventually those departments are broken down to corporate real estate. And corporate real estate breaks down to design and construction, which is the primary section of the company that we work with. So design and construction basically has construction managers on AT&T side that they manage multiple projects throughout the year. And we as Beck are their prime contractor. Next slide, please. So Beck, we are the general contractor, the prime contractor, and the design and construction, which will be AT&T project manager. They're a construction manager per se. And we all work hand in hand with also the architects, which might be Gensler Munoz, or even engineering, for instance, electrical, mechanical, whatever is required for the particular project. And we're basically aligned to work as one group. And the good thing about this is we build such great communications amongst us because we're an alliance where basically we continue to do multiple jobs throughout multiple years. And basically, we already know, the type of people we're working with, what we need, and we get our point across. And there's no delay in basically trying to meet and trying to make some new relationship with a construction manager or an architect or engineer. For the most part, we already have that, but we're always looking for new partners. So that's always an open and available opportunity for anybody that's out there. So if there are any maybe architects or engineers, we don't deal with that directly, but we might be able to basically find you. If you have a question, let us know, and I would probably definitely direct you to AT&T or even the architect or engineer that could help you with that. Next slide, please. So basically, like I mentioned, the architects deal with consultants such as civil engineers, mechanical, electrical, and so forth. So we do not deal with that directly, but if there is somebody there, I'm sure the AT&T can guide you. And if not, you contact us and we'll try to do the best to guide you to the correct person that can help you get set up. Now, what we deal with is basically subcontractors, and that would be anything from turnkey construction, masonry, millwork, pretty much anything. The main thing, like I said, mentioned before, wouldn't do anything like a heavy civil type stuff. We do concrete and pavements and parking lots and pavement repairs, asphalt, what have you, but nothing like heavy civil. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned before, AT&T does have a diversity participation, and with that, it's also follow through the alliance, and the requirement is 21.5%, as I mentioned earlier. And this is not this is actually a contract requirement, not a goal. So per our contract, we must meet that minimum requirement that they require, and we've been, grateful that we have been able to exceed that, as you'll see here in a moment. And so we enjoy working with, our partners, minority partners that have been there for years, and we're always looking for new opportunities of new minority partners that can help us. In my experience, there's never enough, good firms when you need them, and it's our duty to basically find them out there. I know they're out there, and we'd be happy to enjoy to have you on board. Next slide, please. So here's a brief recap in the last, 9 years or so of our participation. This is per the state, so this is the entire state of Texas. As you can see, we've always been over 21.5%, and especially in the last couple of years, we way exceeded that. Currently, we're from the 2020 year till now through July, we're at 40.86%, which is great, and we hope to continue that throughout the end of the year. And our goal is to continue that as long as we possibly can. And with people like AT&T and the business organization here, we're more than glad that we can. Next slide, please.
Mauricio, let me just jump in here and make a clarification. Those numbers you just saw are our numbers within the AT&T Alliance. Those are not BECK'S overall numbers for participation, but those are our AT&T Alliance numbers.
Thanks, sir. So whenever we'll follow up with you, of course, AT&T has requirements, as BECK'S does as well, for safety, network reliability, which is important in AT&T, and insurance requirements, and many others. And I won't get into that here per se, but our information will be at this very end of the slide. And once you give us a call, we'll talk to you, let you know what the requirements are, send you a packet, and we would be more than glad to even have a little training one-on-one to kind of go over everything with you, kind of discuss. And if you have any questions, I know it can be a huge undertaking sometimes for some minority contractors and vendors with all this information. It lists a lot all at once, but we're more than happy to help you through this and get you through this. Next email, please. Next slide, please. So listed here is basically my contact information. And like I said, I'm the PM that covers the Houston area. And just to give you a background of the Houston area, when I mean Houston area, I mean basically we cover jobs from Galveston to Ocampo, Columbus, Madisonville, all the way to Center, Texas, Silsbee, Texas, and even Orange, Texas, right there by the Louisiana border, and then back to Houston. And the San Antonio office has a different area as well. But like I said, we're always looking for work. One thing I do want to mention is we're not looking for vendors or contractors for a one-time project per se. We want to get you guys register and in our system of qualified vendors for ongoing work. AT&T has jobs that range from a few $1,000s to millions of dollars. So we're always getting work, like I mentioned before. Any few minutes we'll get a small job, might be something about coring or painting or you name it. And then the next day, next week, you get a larger project as far as renovating the mechanical or electrical in a central office. And it varies. So what we want to do is basically get you qualified. That way we're ready whenever AT&T calls for any work that might come forward here. So it's not just one job, it's continuous work and ongoing work. And just to mention, Beck has had the AT&T Alliance contract. We renewed it multiple times since 1996. And in that time, we've actually billed over $2.9 billion worth of work with AT&T. So like I mentioned before, it's not just one-time project, it's a multiple project, multiple years moving forward. So we really would like to get you guys set up and hear from you and move forward on that. So without me taking up too much time, I'm going to move it over, transfer it over to Ryan Torgerson, which is the San Antonio area manager. Ryan,
Thanks, Mauricio. I appreciate it. Hello, I'm Ryan Torgerson, project manager of the San Antonio office. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. I'm sorry I don't have video. I think my kids are sucking up all the bandwidth. I'm going to give you a quick overview of our office in San Antonio. Our team consists of 6 office personnel and 6 field personnel. We office out of one of AT&T's buildings here in San Antonio. For our geographical region, the San Antonio office covers a good portion of Texas. We renovate and repair AT&T facilities in West Texas as far as El Paso, North Texas to Amarillo, South Texas down to Harlingen, and about halfway to Houston, where Mauricio's territory picks up. So AT&T, for the most part, has facilities in every city and town in Texas. So finding local qualified subs in some of the more remote locations can be a really big challenge for my team. That being said, we really appreciate our subs that are willing to travel for us. Our average volume in the San Antonio office is typically around 15 to 20 million a year. We typically complete about 150 projects for AT&T a year. Like Mauricio said, we have a wide range of project budgets. The San Antonio office will complete projects as small as a couple $1,000s and larger projects up to several million. 90% of our work is actually MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing repair replacement. We'll go through kind of the scope of work and some of those projects. Our typical mechanical work includes replacement of chillers, air handlers, cooling towers, VAVs, FCUs, pumps, ductwork, chilled water piping, and other mechanical equipment. For electrical, we'll work on service entrances, switchgear replacements, distribution panels, transformers, UPS systems, and occasionally a generator installation. Typically, we do a few office interior renovations in different areas. Some of that scope includes framing, drywall, tape float paint, flooring, tile, storefront glass, millwork, countertops, acoustical ceiling panels and grid, insulation, restroom work, fire sprinkler, fire suppression. And AT&T obviously typically does their own data, but occasionally we get to help out with that as well. Some of our other projects include roof replacements, facade repair, structural steel work, like Mauricio had mentioned, concrete foundations, parking lots, flat work, fencing gates, traffic control, hoisting and lifting, signage, miscellaneous metal fabrication, such as loading docks, bollards, or handrails. So really what I want you to take away from this is we have a wide range of project scopes and budgets. I feel like we have something to offer every sub, no matter how large or small you are. Again, my contact information is on the screen. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much, AT&T and Beck. Since we have a little bit of time, I'm gonna take this opportunity before we start asking questions. If participants would like to introduce themselves and do a quick introduction, I will call on you and just be ready. If not, I'll go to the next name. We'll try to do this quickly so we can get some of the question. And of course, somebody asked if we could do this. You guys don't have access to video. All presentations will be given to you within the next 24 hours. This is recorded, and I'll start calling you guys and just be ready. So Zachary Martin, are you ready to introduce yourself? Hello, Zachary, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, Zachary.
Yes, my name is Zachary Martin. I'm the president and CEO of Martin Construction Management and Designs. And I've recently gone through the Ascend Houston program, so I know Dr. Maya DeNovo fairly well. And thank you all for your presentation and your opportunities that you're offering through AT&T and Beck and the Alliance. I look forward to getting to know everybody a lot better and just working with getting some contracts going here.
Well, thank you, Zachary. Okay, we're gonna go to the next person, Vince Vidito. You there, Vince?
So that we can feel like we're 2 steps ahead versus having to react and feel like we're 2 steps behind.
Okay, I think he's on a phone call. Tara Hallmark, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, introduce yourself. Yes.
Hi, I'm Tara. I'm with Hallmark Mitigation and Construction. We are a commercial large loss disaster restoration firm. We specialize in flood, fire, and mold. We have experience from high-rise airports, malls, hospitals. We'd love to talk to you about doing some disaster restoration for you.
Thank you, Tara. Okay, Russell Watkins, are you there?
Apologize, we're having some audio problems right now. Could you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, great. Yes, I'm project manager for Cybernetics Industries. Actually, we are looking forward to being able to do business with AT&T and Beck. We do communications. We are based as a computer company. We've been trying to set others up on the internet to be able to use that. We do electrical work. We also do HVAC work, and we have the capabilities.
Wow, Russell, thank you so much and welcome. Next person, Rogelio Pombro, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Do you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I couldn't get the camera going. So you have to look at my RT in the screen. I'm sorry about that. I'm with the Emerald Standard Service. We're electrical contractors and project engineering. We have been in business in the Houston area for almost 20 years. And we do all kind of electrical work and communication work. And we're fully certified to state, local, and federal as a small business. We'll be glad to talk to Beck and see if we can argue, agree on something that we could do for them. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Well, thank you, Roger. Thank you. I'm gonna go to my next person. It's Paul Lucia. Paul Lucia, you ready?
Yes, I'm with Built with Foam. We are manufacturers of custom styrofoam products for the construction industry. Sorry about my question. I was editing it and hit a wrong button, so I apologize.
No worries about that. Paul, thank you for coming here. I'm gonna go to my next person. Nancy Marino, are you there? Oh, Nancy, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna go to the next person. Murtaza Badri, are you there?
Yes.
Hello, please
Hi.
introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Murtaza Badri. I am VP of Q Recycling and Construction Services. We do demolition, site work, concrete. We can do turnkey concrete as well. And I've actually taken down a few cell towers, old decommissioned cell towers as well in the past. So looking forward to working with you guys.
Well, thank you, Murtaza, for joining us. I'm gonna go to the next person. Michelle Alceltin, are you ready to introduce yourself? Hello, Michelle, are you there?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me? Yes,
Yes, I can hear you.
This is Michelle with Associated Builders and Contractors of Greater Houston.
Oh, well, thank you, Michelle, for joining us. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Mia Patton, are you there?
Yes, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this presentation. I'm Mia Parton, president of Ipamia Engineering. We are a civil engineering firm that is specialized in utilities. So we do utilities including telecommunication, power, water, wastewater, chilled water. And we are located and headquartered in Austin. We have an office in San Antonio, Lubbock, El Paso, and Arlington, Texas. So we can also reach out to the regions, the rural areas, and serve in those areas. We have already contracted with AT&T to do wireless and wireline work, PCPs and permitting and any type of work. And we love AT&T, and it's a great client, and we really appreciate all the work that they do for the diversity and company. And looking forward to learn more about BECK and see if there are any opportunities for us to work together. Thank you again, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Mia. I appreciate it. Lloyd Gauthier, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes. My name is Lloyd Gaucher, and I am with LMG Technology Services. I'm on the professional services side. My company specializes in application support and development, process automation, data conversion. I actually worked with one of my business partners several years ago on an AT&T project to do a mass conversion from traditional phones when AT&T was going to the IP phones. So just wanted to introduce myself, and glad to be here.
Gabriella, can you share our contact screen while people are introducing themselves, and then some might be able to connect with us and how to register their firm? Thank you.
No problem. I'm here to help. Thank you, Lloyd. I'm moving on to the next person.
Can I say something real quick?
Oh, go ahead. Somebody was talking. I can't hear it. No? Okay. I'm going to go to the next person. Okay. I believe I'm with Kyla. Kyla, are you there?
Here, how are you?
I'm doing well.
This is Kyla with State and Spur. We are an employment placement agency that specializes and prepare to assist with recruiting and sourcing service truck drivers and construction equipment operators for AT&T projects and BECK and anything you need out there.
All right. Thank you, Kyla. I appreciate you coming in. I'm going to go to the next person, Julie Hartman. Are you there, Julie? Julie, are you there?
Julie, you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm Julie Hartman. I'm a certified proposal manager. I was in cohort 1 of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. Maya and I go way back. And I help small businesses with their response to government contracts and help subcontractors get their packages and get them ready to do work with large primes such as Beck. So great seminar and glad to be here.
Well, thank you, Julie, for joining us. And Juan Romero, are you there, Juan? Hello, Juan. Are you ready? Okay, I'm gonna go to the next person. Ignacio Carranza, are you there? Ignacio, can you hear us? Okay, gonna go to the next person. Herbert Moore, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Herbert Moore with TMG Industrial. We also have a sister company, Bama Towers. We currently do facility maintenance. We provide craft labor. Also, we have done cell tower maintenance and upgrades for different carriers, AT&T, also Verizon and T-Mobile as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Herbert. I appreciate it. And then Helen Collier, are you there, Helen?
Fuck.
Okay. Can you hear me, Helen?
Patrick, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And thanks, my friends at AT&T, and thank you, Beck, so much. My name is Helen with Permit Us Now. We help architects, contractors, and project owners such as AT&T to obtain their building permits fast, to help them save time and money. We do that across the state of Texas, wherever HEB goes, which is one of our ideal clients that we've done work for a long time. We cover Texas, and love to be able to handle your permits, be it if it's with the towers and or either some of the renovations. We do have an office in Houston, North Texas, as well as in Austin, where we cover the Hill Country. I do want to note that with my parent company, with Bradlink, we used to do quite a bit of work with AT&T on the government services side when William Traylor used to be in Houston. So we had a partnership and a good teaming arrangement. So love to do work again.
Thank you, Helen. I appreciate it. Charles Smith, are you ready?
Yes, we're RCLT2. We're a structural concrete site contractor.
All right. Thank you, Charles, for joining. I'm going to go to the next one. Brian Jackson, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. And I'm Brian Jackson. I'm the president and CEO of B. Jackson Enterprises. We're an engineering and management firm headquartered out of Katy, Texas. We provide engineering, project management, project control services for our clients, and our tagline is we supply the teams, tools, and technology to create an inflection point in our clients' organizational performance.
All right, thank you. Brandy, are you there, Brandy?
Yes, I.
Go ahead, Brandy. Oh, wait, Brandy, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi there, I am Brandy Harlow, one of the owners of South Post Oak Recycling Center. We are a metal recycling company here based in Houston, but service around the greater Texas area. We've been in business about 26 years, and I function as a second generation owner here. I like to say we impact the world 1 pound at a time through recycling. And so some folks that we service telecommunications companies, constructions, facilities and property management, along with a lot of manufacturing companies. And what we do is we actually buy their scrap metal, such as HVAC units, some of the insulated wire that you all talked about, your underground wire, and so forth. And we do that by providing an easy and reliable container service where your project sites, we actually go and drop containers, or we pick up large volumes of materials, and we actually pay you for the value of it. And so I too look forward to talking with both you, AT&T, and Beck. I think that there's a lot of alignment. Roger mentioned the MEP contractors that you all have, and I actually think that there's a perfect social and responsibility alignment here. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate you coming in. Okay, the next person is Alex Perez Rocha.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Alex. Go ahead.
Thank you, Gabriela. I'm Alex Perez Rocha, and the name of our company is Risico. We are surety bond brokers, especially for the construction industry. And we work directly with the main surety bond companies, and we can provide bonds here in USA and also in Mexico for your projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And one more person, and his name is Alex Morales. Are you there, Alex?
Hi, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Alex Morales with ISC, the American Institute of Steel Construction. And so what we do, we're actually a nonprofit organization that obviously focuses on everything that has to do with structural steel construction. So we work with owners, general contractors, and architects, provide them with business studies that show what their project would look like framed out of structural steel. So things like tonnage, quantity, procurement, availability in the local market, and also if it actually makes sense for your project. We deliver that as a feasibility study, and it's free of charge to hopefully make for a healthy project. Thank you so much for organizing this meeting.
No problem. Thank you, Alex, for joining us. Okay, and with that, Mark, I think I don't have anybody else to introduce. I believe some of them probably had issue with their microphone, and I apologize for that. But Mark, are you ready to handle the Q&A?
Yes, so our first question is from our very own Brandy Harlow. Is the BGAP program virtual or in person?
It will be virtual for our next event. We just need to understand, more with COVID, but right now the intent is to be virtual. The past programs, we have had 2 face-to-face meetings. So it was essentially already, mostly virtual, but there's a graduation ceremony and a kickoff ceremony. And so all events in the future will be virtual. Can I slide a question in here for Beck? I want to know if you bid out all of your opportunities or smaller jobs awarded automatically, or is it all a bid process?
This is Brett Terry speaking from our AT&T Alliance office in Dallas. Our contract with AT&T requires that we get 3 competitive bids on for each trade on the projects we have. Okay, there is an exception for scopes of work that are valued under $25,000. Those can be direct awarded. They're small amounts. Okay, in the case of electrical and mechanical work up here in the North Texas market area, we have what we call CNA contracts, continuing nature agreements, with mechanical and electrical subcontractors. They basically put in bid proposals every 2 years and supply hourly rates for craftsmen at different areas, and based on those, they win a continuing nature agreement, And so for electrical and mechanical work that are very small, the scope of work is under $25,000. It just gets awarded to them. They've bid against several other bidders at the beginning of a 2-year period of time, and they basically win that contract then, and then they're awarded all the electrical and mechanical work.
Thank you.
Okay, my next question is, how do we apply to be a supplier with AT&T? I assume it's at www.attsuppliers.com. Is that correct, Heather? Yes.
It's correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay, then the next question is, how do we go about getting on your call list for disaster restoration, fire, flood, mold work? We are a certified SBE and working on our WBE.
Was that for AT&T?
I think that's, well, it could be, I'm thinking, well, who does handle disaster recovery work? AT&T itself or the Beck Group?
This is Ryan at the San Antonio office. The Beck Group on occasion will help out with disaster restoration. So again, if they contact any one of us, we can put them on that list.
Okay, terrific. And Tara, you'll be, of course, getting the PowerPoints from today's presentation. I'll have all the contact information that you need. And then here's a question. What is the requirement for number of years in business to qualify? We manufacture custom styrofoam items for construction. And so they've been in business in their current form for less than a year, and they wonder if that impacts their ability to be a supplier.
I can take that. AT&T has a threshold that we look at, but we don't, I mean, there is no policy written, but we typically look at suppliers that have been in business for 3 to 5 years. And then based on what the project and the commodity and the scope of the work is, would be where we would look at financials a little bit more closely. So, under a year in business, I mean, we would just have to bring that to the appropriate team member and have the conversation for you with that.
Perfect.
Don't get discouraged. We're not going anywhere. Don't get discouraged.
Okay.
Can I ask what type of
are there for professional service providers?
Mark, I think Brad had a question.
Oh,
go ahead, Brad.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Go ahead,
Can I
Brad.
ask what type of construction products do you manufacture or supply for the construction industry? What are we talking about?
So in this particular instance, it's a custom styrofoam items for construction.
Okay, but are we talking about styrofoam roof insulation? Are we talking about styrofoam panels for EFA systems, or are we talking about a structural fill styrofoam underneath concrete?
I think I'm just gonna mute Paul, Mark. Hold on.
Okay.
Paul, go ahead. Can you explain a little bit about what kind of styrofoam you do?
Yeah, I surely can. We started out as bathroom remodelers and builders for 40 years. We took that experience and applied it to the styrofoam industry. So we hold several patents for making items for showers, the pre-slope for tile floors, showers, benches, curbs. You need dome ceilings, for example, but we can also handle fill, geofoam, and other types of panels and applications.
Okay. The reason I ask is everybody needs to understand that Beck is a general contractor. We don't perform very much work with our own forces. We subcontract work out to the various trades. So in an instance like this, if we needed styrofoam for roofing, or if we need styrofoam for an EFA system, or some styrofoam under structural concrete, something like that, it's going to be purchased through the EFA subcontractor or the roofing subcontractor or our turnkey concrete subcontractor that we hire to do that work. That's going to be part of their scope of work. They're going to supply, furnish the material and labor to do that particular scope of work. So this isn't something that Beck is going to buy directly. It's going to be bought through our subcontractors. So we can talk to you and put you in contact with the subcontractors we use that purchase those type of things, but it's probably not something that we would buy directly.
What opportunities are there for professional service providers? Heather, you want to tackle that?
Yeah, I can take that. I mean, professional services would fall within our ECAM and our staffing category right now. And right now that is not an area where we are actively sourcing for diverse suppliers. And quite frankly, the reasoning behind that is that we run at about 90 to 95% diverse firms in that space. So there's not a gap for diverse spend. You're always welcome to register your company on our supplier portal, and your information will be there. We have over 300 contract managers that utilize our portal. It's not just AT&T supplier diversity. So it functions like a website, keyword search. So if there was a business unit client or the sourcing team seeking specific niche information, your information would be there. Thank you.
I think this is a good question for Brett. Do you require surety bonds for your projects?
Yes and no. It is Beck's policy generally on contracts over a certain amount. It may be $50,000. I know it's for sure $100,000 or more subcontractors are bonded, with the exception of the work that we do for AT&T. AT&T does not want to pay for bonds. And we have a pre-qualification process and an onboarding process that we take subcontractors through to do AT&T work. That does include a subcontractor qualification statement that you fill out. You email it to a surety company, Markle Corp, which is part of SureTech. We hire them as an independent third party to analyze the information. They prepare us a report and give us a rating and a recommended job size for your company. Okay, we do that for all subcontractors at AT&T because we don't have the opportunity to get bonds. So we do have a pre-qualification and vetting process that we take you through. Okay, and there's a lot of other things that we need to tell you about because AT&T work is not like doing ground up construction work. You're working in occupied space with real network equipment running, and you're working right next to people working in their offices. So it's very different, and network reliability is number one to AT&T. There's badging programs that require background checks and drug screenings. These are AT&T requirements. So, we can't talk about all that in the space that we have, but that's why we want to, after this, speak with you guys one-on-one and have opportunities to go through the pre-qualification and onboarding process with you.
And Brett, this is Heather. Is there any way that you can just talk about in general, the timeline that it takes to onboard with Beck? And then what I also like about your company is that once you go through the onboarding process, obviously, if you're wanting to work with AT&T, we're one of your, you're one of our clients, but suppliers also have the ability to work with other firms that you do business with.
Right.
But the timeline to onboard, just in general, the timeline.
The timeline to onboard is determined by the subcontractor trying to get onboarded. And
sure.
I say that because I have met with contractors and given them the documents, the pre-qualification documents that they need to fill out and send back in order for us to do the work. Okay. A subcontractor qualification statement, a MWBE vendor form that which they had fill out and attach a copy of their certification to. Okay, I have companies come meet with me in the morning and get that stuff submitted that same day. It takes Markle Corporation less than 24 hours to give me a report. I met with one company on a Tuesday. They had their first contract and were working on a Saturday. Okay. I have other companies that have sat down and met with me. They've got the documents. They've never returned the documents to me, even after I've called several times till I finally give up calling. But they still haven't done any work with us because I've never gotten any documents, haven't been able to pre-qualify them. But for the most people, it takes about a week to put the SQS document together and submit it. I get the report in less than 24 hours. So it can be done in less than 2 weeks if you're on the ball and do that, or you can drag it out as long as you want. It's
That's
really
right.
the subcontractor, not me.
You made the point. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So how long are AEs under contract, and do AEs have responsibility for permits?
I can't speak to the responsibility on the permits. We'd have to find out some more information for you, but typically our contracts are 3 to 5 years at AT&T.
Okay, Daryl, does AT&T wireless towers installers have responsibilities for permitting?
That wouldn't be a question for me. I'd have to get that one over to Heather to help me out with that one. It all depends. Heather with the color commentary, but in my defense, I believe if we have it with the prime, you'd be working directly with the prime, and the prime would have all those in a subcategory.
Yeah, and Shirley might be able to speak to that a little bit better, but typically the work in our tower space, decommissioning, site acquisitioning is going to be in a tier 2 opportunity. Shirley, is there anything you'd like to add?
Permitting is part of that. So yes, I mean, you have your permitting, you got your site acquisition. It's all kind of tied in together. So yes, to answer your question.
Here's a very pertinent question. Can you explain what is an AT&T Tier 1 and what qualifications are to be a Tier 1? For smaller specialized firms, are there volume contracts for that or just the Tier 1 companies?
Well, Tier 1 for AT&T is typically our primes. It's ones that get the major contracts associated with AT&T. And we look at several factors, as Heather talked about before. The biggest thing for a prime, in our opinion, would be the financial aspect of it. If you're too small and we pivot, we have the tendency to take someone out of business. So we really look at the financial piece in that space. So if I would have to say to be a Tier 1, which is a prime, you'd have to have the revenues and the ability to perform in that space.
And then I'd encourage Mia Parton has asked a whole host of questions that I think would be better directed to specific people either at Beck or at AT&T itself, because I don't think it's particularly pertinent to the audience as a whole. So with that, Gabriela, I think we're good.
Okay, so I guess some of them are very pertinent. So make sure you guys to reach out either to sign up as an AT&T supplier, either to reach out directly to the Beck Group. I mean, like Brett Terry said, if you have your paperwork ready together, you can qualify within 2 weeks. It's on you. You know, at the end of the day, as much as we like to help you, as you know, everything when it comes to construction is paper intensive. So please make sure to have all the documents. And without anything else, I want to say thank you so much to the Beck Group, to AT&T, to Maya for helping us putting all this together. I'm excited for this program. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. You guys, AT&T or Beck, do you guys have any last words you would like to say before we sign off?
Yes, I do. We have shared our email information, but if you are interested in working with AT&T, you will need to go through our process. Register your company at attsuppliers.com. We have a dedicated person on our staff that reviews these inquiries and forwards that information to us. You know, we want to visit with you, but we also have companies that we're in the process of vetting currently. So to email us directly may prolong the course. So please do register your company on suppliers.com. It is a portal that we access and utilize to meet with suppliers. So thank you very much. Enjoyed our conversation today. Thanks, Gabriela and team.
Thank you so much. And anyway, thank you. And guys, have a good day. Enjoy, stay safe, and go out and enjoy this beautiful weather in Texas. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.